in case the mayors wonder, Maylin is our communications manager. So that's her role in helping push this out. Chris Lee is our head of our IT department. So he's got a pretty vital role as well. So that's the basis of their involvement.
Should be up just here in a second. All right, and Mayor, it looks like we already have a few attendees on Zoom if you want to go ahead and get started.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Mayor Woody Washam, and welcome to Connecting Cornelius Coffee Chat. Hope you got your coffee ready, and we've got a great program for you. I know I've got mine here, so we welcome you today. We appreciate everyone's interest in your town. If you're on Zoom, you may actually ask questions through the chat box, and we'll keep an eye on those. Feel free to type those in, and we'll try to manage that the best way possible in order to answer all the questions that come up. So again, thank you for being with us. We've got a robust meeting today. We're going to move it along, and hopefully we'll get you out on time, which is 9:30 or a little bit before, hopefully. So again, thank you for being here, and I want to invite the folks that are on the line now. I'll do this again toward the end, to our town board meeting tonight. It begins at 5 o'clock at Town Hall. So hopefully you will have interest in being there. We will be swearing in our new Board of Commissioners. We will be recognizing the commissioners that will be going out and the new ones that are coming in. So it'll be a big night for us as the wheels of government move forward. So wanted to remind everybody of that. So welcome again. Glad you're here. Now, as usual, we want to get a complete update on our COVID situation. But I do want to sincerely thank our Public Health Director, Gibby Harris, for her role in sticking with us all those many months that we have been here on Zoom. I told her just a few minutes ago that she is truly a person. She's in her I think second, I thought it was maybe third, but she says she's in her second retirement, and she's getting ready to retire again. She hopes this one sticks this time, she says, but she's truly been a person that was in the right place at the right time to lead us through this pandemic. It's been challenging. It's been challenging for all of our towns, all of our government officials throughout the country, really, and certainly all of our citizens. But we're hopefully on the other side of it, not without challenges still. So for one last time, Gibby, we would love for you to give us an update, and hopefully we got a little good news in there somewhere. We're praying about that. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. And as I mentioned earlier, I am incredibly appreciative of all of the support and the ability for all of us to work together through all of this. It's made a difference in this community. And the work that we've done around COVID couldn't have been done if the towns weren't working with us. So I'm very appreciative of your involvement and engagement around this. So let me give you just a quick update. Our numbers, unfortunately, are trending in the direction that we're not wanting to see. We're seeing additional cases every day, more than we had been seeing before Thanksgiving. And some of that may be due to the Thanksgiving holiday. More people are coming back from traveling, those sorts of things, getting tested. So we're going to watch that as we move further into December. But it's also the colder weather. Our viruses like the colder weather. And so we're not terribly surprised to see the increases. We're not seeing huge spikes like we were before. It's just a slow upward trend. Our positivity rate as of Friday was 7.9%. So that has gone up. We were down around 5 in early November, and it's just slowly crawling up as well. So again, all of those things are things that we need to keep an eye on. Increased hospitalizations, that goes with the other two pieces of data. And according to the CDC determination, we are still in the red. So significant to high transmission in our community. So the bottom line is that everybody needs to be vigilant as we move into more holiday season, we move into colder weather. We need people, if they're not vaccinated, getting vaccinated. We are seeing very slow increases in the number of first doses. So we still have some people accessing vaccine, but it's not as quickly as we would like it to see. Right now, we at least 60%, 68% of our population has had one dose. 63% is fully vaccinated. So that's some improvement from where we were. And this is those that are eligible. So it's 5 and up that are in that category. So, you know, slight improvements there. We are seeing better uptake with folks that are going for boosters, which is good news because we want individuals that were vaccinated early on to be fully covered as they can be. And that's what the boosters do for us. It doesn't matter which booster you get at this point, as long as you get boosted. So if you got Pfizer and want to get J&J, that's fine. If you got J&J and want to get Moderna, that's fine. So we just encourage people who were vaccinated and fit the eligibility criteria to get boosted. And that criteria is pretty wide open at this point. So anyone it's been 6 months can be boosted. So again, strongly encouraging that, especially as we're watching Omicron. This is the latest mutation of this virus. As you know, I think it started we recognized it in South Africa. And what they're seeing there is what we're watching very closely, because that's going to give us an idea of what we can expect as it comes our way. They have seen that this particular mutation is sort of taken over. So the majority of the cases they're seeing are Omicron. They were with Delta, now it's moved to this one. They're seeing increased risk of infection in previously infected individuals. So what that tells us is that if you have been infected and you're counting on the antibodies that you get from that infection, it's not as effective against this particular mutation. We're not seeing that so much with, we're seeing good coverage for folks who have been vaccinated. So again, the important message here is vaccination. They are seeing some increases in hospitalization, but right now we're not seeing that this particular mutation is creating more significant or severe infection in individuals. So again, we're still just learning about this. They recognize it very quickly. They're watching it very closely. They're researching it, but it's still very new. Unfortunately, we're seeing, I'm not sure what the total number is these days, but I mean today, but at least 10 to 12 states who have recognized this virus, this mutation of the virus in their states. And the closest one to us is Georgia. As much traffic as we have in and out of our airport, I'd be surprised if we aren't seeing it here in North Carolina. We just have not seen the mutation in the sequencing that they're doing with the positive results that are coming in. So again, just watching that one very closely. Travel amendments are happening very rapidly. So if you're planning on traveling out of the country and then coming back in, you need to watch that carefully. And I would suggest you go to the CDC website to find out what the most up-to-date travel requirements are, because they're changing every couple of days. They're amending what communities, I mean, what different countries you need to do what for to come back into this country. So I just watch that as you make your travel plans. And then while you're traveling, keep an eye on it as well, because it could very well change before you come back. Some of it is requiring people to get tested before they come back. Some of it's requiring vaccination. There's just a number of different requirements. And as I said, they're changing rapidly. So that's where we are right now. I mean, we're fairly stable. Our numbers are not spiking at this point, which is one of the concerns that everybody's had about holidays and the winter months. So that's the good news. And the other good news is that we're still seeing good protection from the vaccines. So we need people to get vaccinated. That's the bottom line here. The other thing that I'll mention before I stop is we are in flu season, and we are seeing flu activity in our community and in the state. So you also need your flu shot. And I will stop there, be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
So Gibby, what do you see beyond the current booster that's out there? Are we going to have to continue with these vaccinations into the future?
Into the future, I would anticipate that we will continue to see the need for vaccinations when it comes to COVID. The question will be how frequently, and I don't know the answer to that. It may turn out to be just like a flu shot every fall, but it may be more frequently for a time being, as this virus sort of settles into what it's going to look like moving forward. But viruses don't go away, and they continue to mutate. So my expectation is that COVID's going to be with us. It's not going away. We're just needing to do the things that we know protect us while we have this virus at the levels that we have, and hopefully we can tamp those levels down. So vaccinations are the most critical thing, but I'm still recommending that people, and obviously we still have the requirement in place here in Mecklenburg County that in indoor settings, public settings, that you're wearing a mask. You're still considering social distancing. Large groups are not recommended at this point, unless outside is definitely safer. So as you move into the holiday season, just keep those things in mind.
Great. So tell us about the future of the public health department in Mecklenburg County. Tell us about your replacement.
So Dr. Raynard Washington came to us almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in March, I think, as our deputy health director, and has been working with me for all of that time. A lot of the work that he was doing in the beginning was COVID, but we have been focused on working with him to make sure that as he transitions, and the county manager has made the decision to hire him in my role. So I've been working with him over the months to help with that transition, to make sure that he understands roles, responsibilities, that he understands the department, he gets to know the staff, he understands the community. He's been engaged and involved in the community in a number of different ways. So I'm very pleased that we have been able to do that level of succession planning and have him in place and ready to go. And we have already hired his replacement. Our new deputy is Paige Bennett. She comes to us from Wake County. So she's very familiar with public health in North Carolina. And she comes from a larger community and a larger health department. She's been with us for a number of weeks now. And so we're working with her on transition as well. So I am very pleased that we've had this opportunity. Quite often it's a matter of they're still looking for somebody when you leave, which makes it challenging for the department. But I feel very good about where we are, and that they will continue to do the good, solid work that our department's been doing in Mecklenburg County.
That's super, super. Great transition. We do know Dr. Washington. He's been with us a time or two, has been pretty consistent on our nighttime chats that we're doing. So we appreciate his involvement, and we'll be calling on him, I'm very sure. So thank you again for your service. We appreciate all you've done. And if you can hang with us just a little bit, there may be some questions to appear in our chat box, and we'll come back to you and pass those on.
Great.
So thank you.
Thank you.
So I do want, before we move into our transportation update, which we have at every one of these sessions because it's such a high priority for our citizens, I want to call on Chief Black for just a quick, I don't know what he can say about an incident that occurred in our town. Many of you know it. It's hit the news media big time. So if you just take a minute or two to provide any kind of comments or update you may have there, Chief.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Early this morning, about 2:30, we responded to an incident off Torrance Chapel Road. Individual motorist reported locating an individual lying in the roadway. We arrived on the scene, and unfortunately, we determined that person was lifeless. We're currently investigating it, trying to determine the cause. Torrance Chapel was shut down till about a little after 7 this morning. But the roadway is now back open, but that's currently an ongoing investigation.
Thank you, Chief. I do appreciate the update.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for the good work you folks always do, but particularly around this unfortunate incident as of early this morning. So thank you. Now, moving along, I'd like to call on our Deputy Town Manager, Wayne Heron, and also any additional town staff folks that will provide us an update on our transportation. These are ongoing updates that we will continue as long as necessary, at least until every road that's supposed to be built in this town gets built. So go for it, Wayne. Let's make it happen, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Washam. And as I'm sharing my screen and pulling that up, I do want to say thank you to Mayor Knox and Mayor-elect Bales. The staffs from Davidson and Huntersville coordinate with us regularly, and we work with them in a very positive way. Many citizens, the boundaries of our towns don't make a difference to them. They want to be able to do business and move back and forth in a positive manner. So we try to make that happen, and we appreciate the coordination and the work that goes on behind the scenes. Real quickly, I'm going to go through the transportation projects. As Mayor Washington noted, this is very important to do each month because every time we do it, we get additional phone calls of folks who said, I really didn't know that project was coming, or I was unaware of that schedule. So even if you've heard this multiple times, we do want to make sure we continue to get the word out and let everybody know what's going on in Cornelius. So this is the overall map. We want to emphasize that we do have approximately 13 projects coming to Cornelius over the next 5 to 7 years. That is a phenomenal amount of projects for our population number per capita. But as Commissioner-elect Osborne noted, we're due that. For so many years, we've gone without any projects. So this is good for Cornelius at this point in time. First one is Torrance Chapel West Catawba. This is a 3-phase project. You'll see phase 1 to the left, which is a roundabout near the post office. Phase 2 to the right is a roundabout near Lake Norman Jeep Chrysler Dodge. The whole purpose here is to make the signal at West Catawba Torrance Chapel less congestion and more functional. The third phase is to put a roundabout up at Torrance and Knox Road, re-mill Knox, improve the intersection down at 1 Norman. Hopefully make this whole area a little bit more functional and better congestion. Right now, right-of-way is underway. I'm actually meeting with some property owners today to try to close out the right-of-way with DOT. Utility relocation is slated for next year, and construction begins early in 2023. 21 West Catawba. This is the other side of the interstate, the other side of the Virgin Diamond. 2 roundabouts on the north and the south end, and again, elimination of left turns at some point in the future. Again, to make this whole area around the Virgin Diamond more assisting congestion and make it flow more freely. Currently in right-of-way, and utilities will start to be moved in 2022. Construction date 2023. Back up one, the Potts 115 roundabout. This is a great congestion management roundabout up near the Davidson border. Also, just to improve safety for those patrons of the YMCA coming out Davidson Street. So this project is currently in right-of-way, almost complete. Utilities will be in 2022, and construction will begin early 23. North Cross Drive extension. This is a great project shared between Huntersville and Cornelius. Luckily, most of the construction on this will be out of sight, so citizens won't notice it while it's under construction. But this will be a great north-south alternative to the interstate or to West Catawba. If you're going from Westmoreland down to Burtdale. So this one is right now in right-of-way, utilities next year, construction set to start early 23. This one will take a little bit longer through 25 because we've got to build a bridge across McDowell Creek and across the Greenway. But this will be a great north-south connector to relieve congestion going north-south. Bailey Road Extension. And this slide is always a little difficult to see, but essentially, if you're familiar with Bailey Road, there's a sharp curve in Bailey. And then when you go down the curve, you hit the Greenway and you hit Oakhurst. At the curve, this new project will take you straight out to 21. So we're really looking forward to this. This will open us up for not only economic development along Bailey Road, but just a great safety improvement for Bailey Road. It's currently in design. They put it out for public comment. Utilities will start in 2022 and construction will start in early 23. One thing I will note, almost every project I've noted so far starts construction in 23. I know Commissioner-elect Furt, we've talked about the fact, and even with our existing commissioners, a lot of orange barrels in late 22, early 23. But we'll get through a little pain with the construction. DOT will try to phase that. But it'll be great when these projects are all done. A lot of great capacity and good congestion management. Hickory Street's intersection signal, currently in design. This will allow people to get out more safely at Hickory Street and 115. So it's a safety and a congestion improvement. Right-of-way utilities are scheduled for 22, construction for the fall of 23. West Catawba, this is our big one, which we need in the worst way. Luckily, right-of-way has never stopped. So as big as this project is, it is tremendous that DOT has continued to work on right-of-way acquisition, even with their funding issues. We expect right-of-way to continue and utility relocations to begin from now through 2024. Construction dates are set 24 through 27. This will be a major north-south improvement. This will double the capacity on West Catawba. This will be tremendous for our town.
Hey, Wayne, what are our chances in moving that project up a little bit?
The fact that right-of-way is underway, that keeps us in the game. And I think we have a chance to possibly move that up to 23. Again, a lot of utility relocations to happen, but if the stars align for us, they could definitely start construction in 23. So we're working on that one. So there is a possibility, and we'll just keep on trucking and keep pushing in there with DOT, see if we can move that one up. The Highway 21 widening, currently it is not in the state TIP, but it is in the MTP for the Charlotte Regional Transportation Plan. So we're hoping that that will help us move this one into the TIP. Luckily, most of the right-of-way is there, so this is a fairly easy project. We just need to keep pushing to move it up. The mayor was just talking about what are the likelihood of moving West Catawba up. This is one where there's an extreme likelihood that it'll move up because we're working with Atrium for the new hospital at the intersection of Westmoreland and 21. Just having a major partner like that where they have a need for the widening of the road, they have a need for exit 27 at Westmoreland and I-77, and they're going to be a great partner in the game with us with DOT, not only financially, I do believe, but also just to show the need to have those road widenings in that interchange. Real quick, I'm not going to show all of the 73 improvements. Our partners in Huntersville manage a lot more of this project than we do, but this is the intersection of West Catawba and 73, which will be a major improvement to congestion and traffic flow. There are 3 portions of 73 that touch Cornelius. The construction dates on that are 2027 to 2029. And so all 3 of those projects from Beatty's Ford to West Catawba to I-77, and east of 115, all 3 of those would be of major benefit to our citizens. And then lastly, I want to mention the I-77 shoulder hardening. A lot of folks don't look at this as a major project for Cornelius, but And I've mentioned a couple times in travels, if you've ever been somewhere where they have the shoulder and the use from between exits, it's a major benefit. So I see this as a major positive for our region, different segments of I-77 having the shoulders between exits. For instance, if you get off at 25 in Huntersville and make it to 28 in Cornelius, you may be able to do that on the shoulder during peak times, and it could be a tremendous benefit. So Mayor, I'm going to stop for a minute and let Tyler take over the last two slides.
Thank you, Wayne. Just the two town projects we have going. Bid openings for Jim Street Extension is this Thursday. That's going behind the mill, connecting from Cornelius Elementary over to Oak Street. That'll be a good east-west connection. And we'll complete our east-west connection from 115 to 21. We've already put in the Hickory Street Extension and Nanny Potts Lane, so this is the last piece. So once this is done, people will be able to drive from 115 over to 21 without getting on Catawba. So just another east-west connection that'll help relieve some traffic on Catawba Avenue. Construction is supposed to start early 22 and then be done by the end of that calendar year. The other project is the Bailey 115 intersection. Contractor should be doing the final paving this week. Then after that, it's just kind of cleanup work. There'll be some landscaping, then just touch-up work, punch list items. So it should be done essentially next week, if not later this week. So that one will be about done here pretty soon, which is going to be great for us. This is adding and extending turn lanes in all four approaches. So those are my two projects.
Great. Super update. Really, really excited about both of those projects, but particularly that connection between 115 and 21. That will give us an alternative that we have not had to Catawba Avenue. It's not going to fix all of our traffic problems on Catawba, but it's going to take them to the next level, I feel sure. Also, as you heard Wayne talk about, the traffic light at Hickory Street and 115 is going to be significant. So that's moving up on the list as well. So once all that happens, we'll be better off with our traffic flow in and out of downtown Cornelius, and we do need some help there for sure. So thanks for that update. If there are any questions, please enter those in the chat box, and we'll be happy to address the specifics. But things are moving forward in our town. The projects that Tyler just discussed are an outgrowth of the bond referendums. We've had two with transportation during my term as on the board and as mayor. And this is paid for through those funds. Isn't that correct, Tyler?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, great. So our bonds are at work finally. It just takes a while to get these projects approved and underway. So thank you, staff, for all your work and direction to help our transportation projects happen sooner than later here in our town. So with that, we're in a pretty good time frame. Let me mention one thing before we get into our mayors. I really want to sincerely thank Representative John Bradford, who I think is on the line. I'm not sure he's got the appropriate Zoom link to talk, but we'll make sure he has it next time. I want to thank him for the efforts that he has made on behalf of our three towns for the new budget that has just been passed and signed by the governor. That was some great work on his part. Our three communities, and each of the mayors can talk about it. I'll mention the budget item for Cornelius was a $2.5 million donation to the Kane Center for the Arts. So very, very exciting to see that project take a huge leap forward in the completion of that $25 million fundraising effort. You'll hear more about some other good news related to Kane in the next couple of weeks or so. But I'll let the other mayors provide their own thanks for things going on in their own towns. So with that, thank you, John. We appreciate your efforts. You've done a great job for us, and we appreciate that that particular aspect coming our way. And what I think is a good budget, business-friendly budget that has transpired in Raleigh. So we greatly do appreciate that. So I'm going to look at our chat box real quick. Well, we got a comment from Mr. Bradford. He doesn't have the link to talk, but we'll make sure he has that next time. So
Yeah, I think I'm on now, Mayor. Thank you.
oh, okay, good. We
Yeah.
got going. Thank you, John.
The power of administration tool. Someone just added me. So
There
yeah,
you
thank
go.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
we had a
for
great,
making
you bet. We had a great budget in Raleigh. It's a pleasure to serve Cornelius. Great to see so many faces, and maybe on another call, we can go into the budget in a little more detail, but thanks for having me.
Very glad to have you, and thanks for your good work.
You bet.
So
I'll see
with-
many of you tonight.
That sounds great. That sounds great. So we'll move now into our program that includes our mayors. You know, we have a great relationship between our three North Mecklenburg towns. We all go back many years. I think Rusty and I were elected at the same time as mayor, and so we are sort of serving concurrently. I believe that's right, Rusty. And Linda Bales, who is actually at this moment the mayor-elect in Huntersville, will become the mayor tonight. Congratulations, Melinda. We have known each other, gosh, I don't know how many years. I think you were serving on the town board in Huntersville when I was elected to the town board in Cornelius back in 2013. So you've been around a while, and we certainly appreciate your good service. We had breakfast actually this past Friday just to connect as a new group. Melinda that was her first meeting with with me and Rusty, and it went very, very well. We had these same types of meetings with Mayor Annarella, who's the outgoing mayor. I understand Mayor Annarella has a pretty huge announcement coming this afternoon, so stand by on the news media for that one. But Melinda, thanks for your service for many, many years, and congratulations on your movement to the mayor's job. It'll be different. We talked a little bit about that on Friday, so good luck to you. And she told me that she didn't mind going first. Now that's an experienced politician as it relates to that. So I'll turn the mic over to you. Thank you.
I don't know about that, Mayor Washam, but thank you so very much. And I do want to take a moment to also express my gratitude to Representative Bradford. You know, when Huntersville was dealt that original blow of where we were told we were estimated to get about 17 million in ARP funds, and that fell short. And thank you, Representative Bradford, for stepping up. The 12 million that made us whole was in the state budget, and we are truly grateful here in Huntersville. I will tell you that we will use those dollars wisely to impact our community, but just really wanted to take that moment to say thank you personally and publicly, because I know you did a lot of work, and that was a heavy lift, I'm sure, getting that into the budget. So thank you very much. You know, I wanted to take a moment as Mayor Washam stated, we're getting ready to be sworn in this evening. And so as of right now, I'm still mayor-elect, but I'm looking forward to serving Huntersville. Huntersville is an incredible community, and I've served it for the last decade on the town board. And it will be a change for me stepping into the mayor's role. But I wanted to share a couple of points in the vision of Huntersville that will impact the residents in Cornelius and Davidson as well. Just a few things. One being some of the facelift that's happening over in the Burkdale area. Burkdale Village is getting not only a facelift, I'm sure if you've been over there, you've seen the paint. They've been updating those facilities, but there will be some additions too in the green and the square. And I believe it's not only going to benefit Huntersville and Huntersville residents, but everyone in the region that comes to Burkdale. They are fixing the fountain. I'm sure that residents are going to be excited to hear that. The fountain will be updated. They're going to be adding a stage and a new green space for concerts, etc. And then I'm looking forward to this time next year when there will be an ice rink out there for all of us to enjoy. So new things happening in Burkdale. And then, of course, our road projects. I know Mr. Herron touched on the transportation happenings in Cornelius. We're having the same, lots of orange cones going out. Our Main Street project's happening now. The exit 23 interchange and road widening of 21 at that interchange is also happening. Economic development continues to move forward with businesses moving into Huntersville. And then on top of that, we're adding to our greenways and our parks, and looking forward to the Rosedale Nature Park opening up with a dog park. So Cornelius, you had the first one, and we're hoping to expound upon that because Huntersville residents have been asking, hey, we're having to take our animals to Cornelius to the dog park. So maybe that'll relieve some congestion on your end. Certainly hope so. But I really wanted more than anything just to leave it up for some additional dialogue, because as Commissioner Washam stated, Cornelius and Davidson and Huntersville have worked well together for years, and I anticipate continuing that. I enjoy the dialogue that we have, and I know that we're going to continue to work cohesively to make a difference within all of our communities in the North Meck region. I'm trying to keep it short, Woody.
Okay. Thank you, Melinda. Appreciate that. Well, let's turn to Rusty Knox, Mayor Rusty Knox. My good friend for many years. We go way on back when he used to live beside my grandma on Catawba Avenue. So Rusty, take it away. We know you can talk, sir.
Yeah, and I will. I've got my markers here, Woody, so I'll keep it as short as possible. I'd also like to thank Representative Bradford for his continued support. As you know, we had an asbestos mill in Davidson, and we have worked closely with the state, with John's assistance, and with NCDEQ to identify yards on the west side of town that had asbestos in them, and we've remediated that asbestos. We continue to work with, we just finished remediation on Roosevelt Wilson Park, and we've got somebody that is currently under contract to buy this old asbestos mill and do an adaptive reuse of it. And they've finished their brownfield studies and the work that they've done with DEQ. And again, John, thank you for your assistance there to permanently encapsulate this asbestos that's been buried for years on what I call the grassy knoll behind Main Street. So, we're looking forward to that. So again, thanks, John, so much for your help there. I really appreciate it. And I was sad to see that the ocular melanoma funding got cut from the budget. I made sure to email the governor because we did have a resident whose daughter passed away from ocular melanoma. And I any continued work you can do to provide funding for Huntersville in that study would be great. So again, thanks. In Davidson, we just finished our 3 days of Christmas in Davidson. It looked a little different this year because of COVID. We didn't have carriage rides. We didn't have vendors in the green. The Rotary Club expanded their giving trees. We had 72 nonprofits that benefited from the giving trees that the Rotary Club put on this year. Main Street was closed and it was pedestrian only. So for me, it took it back to what Christmas in Davidson used to be as a lifelong townie. It was less commercialized and I got zero complaints. Everybody was like, this is the way it should be. It's about people. There are some people that were disappointed that the Clydesdales weren't in the Christmas parade, but part of that has to do with the fact that they're moving away from Clydesdales for draft horses and moving into Percherons, and they're not quite ready to make their public appearance yet. But I talked to Wes Hunter, and as soon as they're ready to put them on the street. They'll be back in the parade hopefully soon. We've got our swearing in of our new board on December 14th. We had 3 sitting board members, Commissioner Jim Fuller, Commissioner Matthew Ford, and Commissioner David Sitton, that chose not to run for reelection. We have Matt Dellinger got elected. He is currently head of our planning board. He's an attorney, Davidson grad. Tracy Brandon, who's associate pastor at Gethsemane Baptist, and Ryan Fay, who's the business development director for Scott Clark Toyota. So and additionally, Mayor Pro Tem Jane Campbell and Commissioner Autumn Ryerson Michael got reelected. And I feel honored. This was my 3rd term that I ran. I got reelected again. So I love serving my town. Couple brief things that we've got on the horizon. We are still working towards probably an end of the summer or early fall opening of our new town center. We acquired the old Davidson Elementary School on South Street from Mecklenburg County and Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, which was a big win for our town because we've got a 30,000 square foot building on 5 acres of land in the middle of town. And we have so many other future needs for the town that are going to be satisfied in that location. So that's great. We are dedicating, or we're doing a construction ribbon cutting on our Beatty Park. That was a very contentious thing 4 years ago. And that 19 acres of land that's in a permanent land trust now, we're going to start the construction on that passive park in town on December 14th. Probably one of the biggest things, and any of you that have come through Davidson, you know that the last section of commercial buildings as you're heading north are virtually unused, and they have been for years, except for Mestizo Mexican Restaurant and Kindred. Myself and the sitting board have been working with the owner of that block and with former Cornelius Mayor Chuck Travis, who is their architect. And they've come up with a vision of something that's going to be introduced at our January 11th board meeting as an FYI. And it's going to be an adaptive reuse of those buildings. They are going to expand the footprint of them. They're keeping the facades for historic significance, but we're going to finally get those buildings open. You know, that's a lot of people say, why don't you do something about that? Well, we don't own the buildings. We can't do anything about it. So Clark Road will be a biggie. And then, as many of you know, we had another resident killed by an automobile on Main Street several months ago. So we formed a pedestrian safety task force. We have adopted the Vision Zero guidelines to protect our pedestrians from fatalities. We're taking some immediate measures. We've implemented a new mid-block crosswalk on Main Street. We're encouraging people to use the crosswalks and not jaywalk. Particularly my law enforcement folks that are tuned in, you know that when that battle is fought on the street, the car is always going to win, not the pedestrian. So we're urging people to provide safety for themselves. And, you know, we've got an education and enforcement program that we're going to start working on next year, along with Chief Dunn and our police officers. And we may ultimately implement a traffic task force with our police officers as well to help the enforcement. It's not just Main Street. We have several other areas with the traffic out at exit 30, even the neighborhoods, River Run, Summers Walk. We have speeding issues and everything else. So, but Woody, I want to thank you for allowing me to take this brief moment and join your coffee chat. I know that's very well attended, and I commend you for staying engaged with this with your citizens. It's really important that you don't know how many people are reading a newsletter or an email blast that you send out, but when you see the numbers of people that tune into this, you realize it's important. So thank you.
Thank you, Rusty. We appreciate that. And we're going to do more as we talked this past Friday to enhance our collaboration between not only the 3 towns, but the 4 towns in the Lake Norman region to include Mooresville. So my new board, and I'm sure your boards will be hearing more about the move forward as we enhance that communication with each other. We'll be having some sessions together to totally increase our dialogue. We couldn't do that during the COVID time frame, but I think we're back in a time that we can gather together once more safely and have some conversations with each other. And there's so many things that consistently affect and impact all of our 4 towns up and down the interstate that we just really need to be working together on. I'm excited about that, and you'll be hearing more about those opportunities. As it relates to my 3rd term as your mayor, there's a number of priorities that are on my list. First and foremost is roads and transportation, and getting these transportation projects in place and done, started sooner than later, sooner than they're projected at this time. There's a lot of money flowing around out there as it relates to the infrastructure bill, with also the ARPA funds. What can we use them for or not use them for? Is transportation a part of that? We don't know a lot of those answers yet, but we're working diligently to get those answers and get confirmation about how that particular aspect moves forward. I'm looking forward to working with my new board. Pretty much 4 of the 5 are new. Commissioner Billadu does return for another term on our board. So we'll be addressing some things that are priorities for me and them in relation to development. We'll be looking into better ways to plan for our future. We do need to make some tweaks to that. We do need to make some tweaks to our land use plan, and you will see all of that coming into the next several meetings early on, as the stance of me and our new board will shift somewhat. We've got to match that better to our transportation reality in terms of what we're dealing with now. Our town is in gridlock during many times of the day. Our citizens are not happy about that, and I get that. I'm in that same traffic as all of our commissioners are. So we've got a good incoming board. We've had a really good outgoing board as well that have worked hard, and I want to thank my the ones that are outgoing for the diligence that they provided in many avenues. They have worked hard. They have put in many hours for the good of Cornelius. They've served on many committees throughout our region, including Charlotte, and been in leadership roles throughout. And we'll miss that, but we'll be fine. Sometimes new ideas, new input, new thinking is not a bad thing for a town that's at our point of development. So I'm looking forward to that, and they're great. Our new board's great folks. They're smart individuals. They're dedicated to our town. They love this town as I do, and they're very clear on the fact that you don't want to mess with my hometown. You don't mess with anybody's hometown. That means a lot to me. I'm sure they love it as much as I do, but I've just been here a little bit longer. So looking forward to our service together. We're going to look into ways that we can better include our public in terms of giving them more and better opportunities to comment. We want to hear what they think. Our citizens are smart as well. They've got great ideas. We want to hear from them. I want to hear from them, and I'm certainly committed to do that. And we're working on that. You'll hear more about that. The other thing that you never hear me talk without, I guess, really a sense of pride. If you have ridden through our downtown area in the last week and taken a look over at the Kane Center of the Arts, it's almost an emotional experience to me to see that project rising out of the ground. We are truly raising Kane. We really are. And it's absolutely gorgeous at this level, but just wait till you see the finished product. It's fantastic. I can't thank the citizens of this community enough for stepping up and helping us raise this $25 million. I can't thank the public entities enough, the town putting in our bond funds elected or passed by our citizens back in 2013. I know Representative Bradford was a proponent of that then, as I was, but it's happened. It really has happened. And this has taken off and taken away. It'll take your breath away if you hadn't ridden by in a while. So I hope you'll do that. And I think you'll get even more excited about what's to come. But as a result of that, the intent was downtown redevelopment, and lo and behold, it is happening in Cornelius. We needed to do some work on our downtown. It was a little bit tired looking, and it needed to be spruced up a bit. And so that has brought on a major brewery that you know about, OMB, and there's several more actually looking at our town for relocation there downtown. So it will be a really nice upscale entertainment district. There's 5-star restaurants looking at us right and left. So we'll look back at Cornelius in, I don't know, 3 to 5 years and go, wow, this is good stuff. And we do have some opportunities ahead to work on our transportation, our road projects and things like that as it relates to our downtown. We got to get traffic flowing a little bit better. So a lot's going on as it relates to those very, very positive targets. So as I've said to all of our incoming elected commissioners and our current commissioners, our town's doing very well. We're sound financially. We're not broke, but we can do better. You can always do a little bit better. And I take that as a challenge. And really, really, as Rusty said, I enjoy serving my hometown as mayor. It's been a thrill to be a part of many, many good things going on. I'm so proud of our public safety in every aspect. I just can't brag on them enough for the quality jobs that they do as it relates to our police and our fire. But we got to stay on top of that. And as we move into our budget times, they know that they have my support, and I believe they will have our board support as well. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to that. Thank you, Mayor Knox. Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to go ahead and call you Mayor Bales. It's got a nice ring to it. So we appreciate your input today. And are there other questions out there? One of the things I do want to add, and I may get our police chief or our town manager to add a little bit. We too, Mayor Knox, are emphasizing pedestrians in our town. And we've got a whole new campaign that has begun in relation to the protection of pedestrians as it relates to our streets and byways here in our town. Very, very important aspect. So, Andrew, you want to talk about that, or Chief?
Sure. I think we can both chime in here. In addition to Troy, it's been a team effort, as Mayor Knox mentioned and Mayor Washington did as well. And I know it's a concern for everyone around the region, including Huntersville. Pedestrian safety is just something that we just can't emphasize enough. We took a creative approach. I appreciate the segue, Mayor Washington, to really get the message out there. And I want to credit our park department and police department for working together on a really cool video. And we even have a guest, Santa Claus, who came and helped us put the video together to emphasize pedestrian safety at crosswalks. Our communications manager, Maylin Joyner, she sent that out in a press release last week. So if you haven't seen it, you can go to our YouTube site. And yes, we have a YouTube site with some other videos cataloging a lot of our meetings, but please go to that to take a look. It's a couple minutes and it's really entertaining. We've got a lot of guest appearances in there.
Super. So stand by on that one. This is an outgrowth of requests from our citizens to be more protective of them as they walk and bike throughout our town. So we've stepped up and are doing all we can to get the word out. Unfortunately, Davidson has had some fatalities related to this particular topic, and we do not want that happening to them again or us. So anyway, more to come as it relates to pedestrian safety, bike safety, and things of that nature here in Cornelius. So with that, I think possibly we have some of our outgoing commissioners on the line. I did see Dr. Miltick out there. I'm not sure who else. I can't get you all on my screen here. So any of you like to say anything, you're certainly welcome to do that, any of the outgoing commissioners. And I'll start with Dr. Miltick.
Well, Commissioner Sisson and Commissioner Ross are also online. I can
That's
see them
great.
on my screen.
Thank you.
Nothing to really say. I think moving forward is still very important, and getting our transportation addressed. And like I said before, the orange cone is going to be the town symbol for the next couple of years, because it's going to be everywhere. So, but nothing specific for me today, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, we'll still tend to lean on you, particularly as it relates to transportation, for any advice you can help us with.
Well, yeah, I think I will still have a background role at CRTPO, and I'll be going to the Transportation Summit in January in Raleigh. So I'll still be doing what I can in the background.
Wonderful. We appreciate that. So Commissioner Sisson, are you out there?
I am, Mayor. I just want to say thank you to the citizens of Cornelius for giving me the last 2 years to serve you. It has been my honor to serve. I will keep watch over the new board, and I wish them well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Ross.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Like the rest of them, I'm glad to have served. I'm just gonna move to the other side of the aisle and still be participating in the community. Thank you.
Sounds like we'll continue hearing from all of y'all. So thank you for your service. It's been a pleasure to work with you. We'll see you around town. Commissioner Bilodeau, I didn't call on him, but I will. He's transitioning over into the new board. So Dennis, you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd also extend a word of thank you to John Bradford as a member of the Kane Board and fundraising. We know how difficult that is, and that was a tremendous contribution. And I know John had every bit to do with that. So thank you, John. But I'd like to thank my current board members, Commissioner Sisson, Ross, Miltick, and Duke. I know they put in a lot of hard work. And I'd also like to congratulate the new board members, who I think most are on with us today. Commissioner-elect Furch, Osborne, Sansbury, and Gilroy. So I look forward to working with them as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks. As I do too, as I stated earlier. So our new commissioners will have plenty of opportunity on these Connecting Cornelius's going forward to be involved in, and we're really at our stop time. But former commissioners or commissioners that will be former commissioners tonight and new commissioners, I totally look forward to seeing you tonight at 5 o'clock. We will kick off our meeting, and it will be a very positive, uplifting meeting. And congratulations to our new board. We will work hard. We will get to work. We've already gotten to work, and I know these new guys feel like they're drinking out of a fire hose, and they are. So we'll move that forward and hope that good things happen. I know good things will happen for our town in the future and the years ahead. So with that, I would really like to, this will be the last edition of Connecting Cornelius this year. We will not have a January session because it really interfaces with the holiday season and our cranking up with the new board and holidays happening throughout December. But we're already planning to kick this back off in February. And our new communications director is hard at work helping me plan these sessions, and we will move forward into 2022 in a really, really good way. It's important, very important, to communicate with our citizens and each other. So we're going to work on ways to be even better. We've come a long way in our communication in the last 2 to 4 years with the advent of this communication position in our town. So I'm really pleased about that. We've got a lot more we can do. And if any of our citizens have ideas of ways that we can have dialogue with you or communicate with you in an even better way, let me know. I'm happy to consider that, and we will be better than ever. So happy holidays, everybody. It is a season. It's a busy time of year for all of us, particularly the mayor, but everybody. But it's been an interesting year for us. It's been a COVID year for us. It's been an election year for us. The wheels of government moves forward, and I'm excited about that. So wish you the best during this holiday season. And I look forward to seeing you around town. Please call me if I can help anybody in any way. Good day.
Thank you, Woody.
Thanks, everybody. See y'all.
Thank you.